All right, we're live on the internet.
Good evening. Welcome to this evening's September 22nd Township Committee Meeting located here at the Municipal Building, 7 p.m., 770 Cooperstown Road in Delanco. Roll call, please.
Mr. Bartlett.
Here.
Mrs. Patrick. Here. Mr. McFadden.
Here.
Mr. Olet.
Here.
Ms. Seuss.
Here, thank you. Also present, Mrs. Seminara, our Township Administrator, Mr. Heinhold, our Township Solicitor, Mrs. Lohr, our Municipal Clerk, Mr. Warren, our Police Chief, and Ms. McFadden, our Administrative Assistant. Please rise for the flag salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sunshine and live stream statement, please, Janice.
Please be advised that proper notice of this meeting has been given in compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act in the following manner. Written notice has been mailed to the Burlington County Times and Courier Post and published in the December 30th, 2024 editions, and written notice has been posted on the official bulletin board of the Township of Delanco at least 48 hours prior to the meeting. This meeting of the Delanco Township Committee may be transmitted via live stream on YouTube video. The streaming of the meeting is not intended to be relied upon as formal public access under the Open Public Meetings Act. And if the technology, is disrupted for any reason, the township meeting will proceed in person as an official meeting in accord with the official notice.
Thank you. Please take a moment to silence and put your cell phones on vibrate. Okay, we'll move on to rules governing the public comment period in accord with and subject to the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act and JSA 10:4-12 at SEEK. During public comment periods, the Delanco Township Committee is permitted to institute reasonable rules and regulations to allow for a smooth process and ensure a reasonable opportunity to be heard. Calling out from the audience outside of one's time at the microphone is disruptive to the person speaking at the microphone or to the committee member speaking at the dais and will not be permitted. Each speaker will have a maximum of 5 minutes to speak and should limit their comments to the matter at hand. The speaker will be directed to conclude their remarks once the time has expired. No time may be yielded to another speaker by a speaker. Groups are asked to select a spokesperson to speak on their behalf. Speakers will address the committee from the podium and are asked to begin their remarks with their name and address for the record. Township committee members are not obligated to answer impromptu questions or address remarks from members of the public during the public comment period. Speakers should expect the township committee from refraining and engaging in a dialogue, except to the extent necessary to clarify the speaker's comments. The allotted time for speaking from the podium is the method to address the committee during the public comment period. The committee will not entertain questions or comments called out from the audience during public comment or at any other time. Speakers and members of the public should at all times maintain proper decorum and shall make their comments in a civil manner. Personal attacks, obscenity, derogatory, or slanderous remarks will not be tolerated. Ordinance 2025-12, amending Chapter 245-13, governing the preparation of waste for collection by the township. This is the second reading and public hearing. The hearing is now open to the public for Ordinance 2025-12 only. If you have anything you'd like to say about this ordinance, please come up to the podium and state your name and address. Seeing none, I will close this public hearing. Can I get a motion to approve and adopt ordinance 2025-12, please, on second reading?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Matt, second by Kate. Roll call, please.
Mr. Bartlett.
Yes.
Mrs. Patrick. Yes. Mr. McFadden.
Yes.
Mr. Olet.
Yes.
Ms. Seuss.
Yes, thank you. Moving on to comments and reports. Township Administrator, Mrs. Seminara.
I have no report this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Department heads, Chief, anything to report?
Yeah, good evening, everyone. We actually had our first annual fishing event this weekend. Very nice turnout. The weather was great. I want to thank Dunkin' Donuts. They actually donated all the donuts for us, so that was pretty cool. But it was nice seeing the kids being outside and having fun. They didn't catch a whole lot of fish, but they caught some. But again, just them being outside and enjoying the weather and interacting with each other was pretty cool. So looking forward to doing it again next year.
Yeah,
Definitely.
It was a perfect day.
Yeah, it was a good day. But thank you for your help, Phil, John Fenimore, and Public Works to help me out with clearing out areas so we got nice pockets where they can fish and have space. We didn't want everybody on top of each other trying to cast. So.
Yeah.
but yeah, it was a good event. So I'm happy we were able to do it. As far as the department, for right now, to date, we have 177 total police cases. there have been 1,587 motor vehicle stops with 535 motor vehicle summons issued. And we have a total call of service for, up to date, yes, 8,571. So we had still busy. Numbers are still going up. So
Great.
and that's it for me.
Thank you. I also, just a quick note, had the chief pull a report for incidents related to anything with Hawk Island from Memorial Day to Labor Day. And mostly, the only incidents I really see here are noise complaints, and they were all justified by the boats on the river. There was nothing noise complaints or any other kind of complaints from people actually on the island. There was a few incidents where the state police did respond to those noise complaints, asked the boats to turn it down, but we do not have any jurisdiction on the actual river, only on our portion of the land. So we didn't have any, I think there was one maybe parking summons you said issued?
Last week, and actually, there were 2 issued yesterday.
Okay,
But other than that, that's it. And they were parked, excuse me, not on Vine, they were actually parked up at the gate. So
Okay.
they were just summons for that, so, okay.
I received a call from someone who lives there at the end of Vine and about people entering after hours. And I said, please call the police. That's what they're there for. Because they said, oh, they didn't want to bother them. I said, well, I can't do anything about it. You need to call the police. So they have a vehicle. They are aware of the hours. You know, there are rules. So please call the police.
Absolutely.
That's what. And so I don't know if they did.
No.
That same person reached out to me, I said the same thing.
Yeah.
I assume it's the same person that
Yeah.
said the end of Vine.
The only 2
Yeah.
calls, they were from the same person yesterday for the noise, but it was for the boats on the river. And there was 1 call, like I said, for the parked vehicle, which was issued a summons. But even when responding with the state police, like I said, sometimes they advise me to turn the music down. They don't always,
Right.
because what they deem appropriate is a lot different than us. And obviously, once they're in that high tide water line, there's nothing we can do. And that's where, people don't understand that.
Yeah.
But
But
kinda
it's good to
stuff.
see that our ordinance is working and our
Well,
permits, it's,
the issue is it's only pushing people back a block. And I've spoken to a few residents on the block, the second block there, that already have parking issues. And they're saying that kind of exacerbated the parking issues by just pushing them all back a block.
yeah.
So
Well, we
they-
kind of knew that would be an issue.
Yeah, so I'm not really sure we accomplished anything by doing
Well, we
that.
accomplished the people carting stuff up at Hawk Island and partying there. I think we
But
accomplished it.
that wasn't happening. Like, I'll give you an example.
They
With,
sort
with,
of,
with the event that we had Saturday, it's almost a half mile to get back to that lake.
right,
You're not carrying a 75-pound or 100-pound cooler back there by yourself,
Yeah.
a half a mile. Saturday, we shuttled most of the people back there because of the distance.
oh, yeah,
So, and even on Saturday. And I've been back there now consistently preparing for the event for the past month and a half. There's no trash back there. Even when they were utilizing the island on the weekends, John Fenimore already had a schedule set up with Public Works. Every Monday, they went out there, got the trash, went and dumped it, and it worked. They were pretty cohesive with him and Paul Newman
yeah.
assisting with that.
Pullman, yeah.
But as far as them being on the island, we only had 1 call this summer for someone actually being out there staying, and he was addressed and
Yeah.
removed. But,
But I
They
think
weren't-
before our
yeah.
ordinance, there were some issues.
yeah,
I can't believe they just
because they weren't really issues.
made them up.
Yeah, well, we showed you the numbers last year.
Yeah,
Because again, now, like you just said just now, though, people are saying, well, I didn't want to bother the police. Well,
right, exactly.
But we can't address anything if we're not told. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So,
Right.
Thank you, Chief.
So I have this report if anybody wants to look at it after tonight. Okay, Mrs. Lohr, anything to report?
Just some upcoming events. We have this Saturday is the fall townwide yard sale. And that maps will be at various retail locations around town and the municipal building. And we have, I believe the firehouse is doing hoagies. Scouts are doing their famous pork roll, egg and cheese. Randall's Rescue is going to have a bake sale. I'm not sure if the library is doing anything for the yard sale.
Their Friends of the Library will have tables set up right out front of the Pearson School where the library sign is.
Okay.
Right next to there is where they set up their tables and they sell books.
They're having a book sale
Correct.
at the Pearson School.
Yes.
Okay, great. And then also, well, on October 4th, very busy day, we have Community Cleanup Day from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Public Works Garage. So items that are usually not able to be put out with regular trash can be accepted. That would be TVs and electronics, plastics, laundry baskets, lawn furniture, tires, up to 4 tires will be accepted. So that is the Community Cleanup Day, Saturday, October 4th, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. And also that day is our a free shredding event right here at the municipal building. And that's 8 a.m. to 12 p.m., rain or shine. So residents may bring their bags or boxes of unshredded documents to bring them here on October 4th from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. So a lot of cleanup opportunities for October 4th. And we have another event on October 4th, a big one, hosted by Delanco Heritage Celebration in cooperation with the Delanco Recreation Commission. The Fall Fest, Saturday, October 4th, 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. And that is, where is that? Field of Dreams. And there's going to be a lot, there's DJs, vendors, food trucks, bouncy houses, pony rides, and on and on and on. And I believe there will be vendors.
Yeah, so we have about 40 vendors in total right now between the crafters and the food trucks, and more are signing up every day. I think we have 5 food trucks. Mr. Softy's coming, Chick-fil-A, and then the additional food trucks. We're going to have, I think, 2 obstacle courses, a mechanical bull, a bounce house, our usual pumpkins with the decorations. We're going to have balloon backdrops, fall themed backdrops. So it's Community Day on steroids. So we've kind of
Petting zoo.
Yeah, the petting zoo. So we've kind of expanded on Community Day now that we have a bigger space and a lot more activities. So we're super excited for that. It's kind of like our smaller version of what the Centennial event will be next September. So, and then the Firehouse is still doing their events, kind of a different way this
The
year.
fire prevention, there should be, I'll get to the date when I get to my report, but yeah.
I think is it the 11th?
I think it's whatever the Friday is following.
10th.
The 10th, yeah.
10th, yeah. They're doing it like an open house.
Yeah, they'll be putting more information out on that in the coming week.
Okay.
And Saturday, October 18th, from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m., the Delanco History Board will be having an open house and featuring displays and information for the Civil War era alligator submarine, Delanco Waterman, and doing business in Delanco. So that's Saturday, October 18th, from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. here at the municipal building. And then we have Saturday, October 25th, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. is the trunk or treat along the river. So this year it will be along the river from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. And the event is free to attend, and that's always a lot of fun for the kids and the adults too. And then on Saturday, October 25th, we have the Women's Club is having their annual 5K run. Very lovely event. Registration is at 8 a.m. and the race begins at 9 a.m. And Kate, where do you, down at Gateway Park?
Gateway Park, yeah.
And you can register that morning too?
Yes.
As well as
Between-
in advance?
Yes, in advance is online, or somebody can actually give me their registration, or at the event at 8 o'clock, 8 to 9, the race starts at 9. And Delanco Township is going to be sponsoring a team this year.
Yes.
I thought that was really nice.
Yes. Erin, do you know if the team has chosen its colors yet? Not
Yeah.
yet, okay.
Yeah.
For their shirts, okay.
Yeah.
And the last event is that the Environmental Advisory Board is partnering with the Delanco Parent Teachers PTO for a Halloween costume swap. And there's a bin right out here in the municipal building. So if anyone has any gently used, worn Halloween costumes that they'd like to donate to children that may not have the ability to get a new Halloween costume. And those are right here at the, that bin is right here at the Delanco Municipal Building for the Halloween costume swap sponsored by the Environmental Advisory Board and Delanco PTO. And that's all I have and there's a lot of flyers. I just grabbed a bunch of flyers from the lobby. So everything that I mentioned, except for the Halloween costume swap, flyers are available in the lobby. So if I missed something, please add to my report.
Just one thing on November 1st, since it's Halloween weekend, we have the bonfire and movie night at West Avenue Dunes. That's the Halloween movie event that we'll have there. So that'll be a nice, fun thing to do on Halloween weekend. So come out on the 1st, November 1st. Okay. Thank you, Janice. Township Committee, Mr. Olet.
Let's see. Mrs. Lord covered some of the items, so I'll just skip over them. The History Board, we met on September the 3rd, and one of the topics was the veterans banners. So we have the banners along Burlington Avenue through the different seasons. Right now, the American flags are out there. We'll have fall flags, and then we have the Cardinals. But we're looking into pictures of veterans here in town, folks that have lived here or past and I guess present, and see about getting pictures and getting them displayed out on the light poles. So that's in progress. Let's see. History Board will have a table set up for the township townwide yard sale, and we normally set up near the library or Friends of the Library. I guess it's Maple and Burlington Avenue is where they're set up. Let's see, Fall Fest on the 4th. History Board's looking to participate in that event. And the open house on the 18th. Let's see. Oh, November 16th, Sunday, November 16th, from 3 to 4:30 here at the Municipal Building, looking to do a veterans sort of celebration or story sharing. Done this in the past, and get a nice turnout, and folks are able to share their story of when they were in the military, and it's a nice event that takes place here. And let's see, the next meeting for the History Board is Wednesday, October the 8th at the Zerbrook Mansion. We meet monthly there, and everyone's welcome to come, anyone who's interested. Let's see, the library, again, looking to participate in the Fall Fest on October the 4th. And Friends of the, let's see, yeah, Friends of the Library are doing Boscov's Friends Helping Friends. And I think that's at the end of October. I don't have that date.
22nd, I think.
22nd. So you can get a coupon, I guess, at the library, and you can get the coupon, then you take the Boscov's, and I think it's up to 20% off on your purchases there on different items. And the library meets next time on October the 14th at the library at 7 p.m. Again, anyone who's interested is welcome to attend. The County Commissioners meeting, attended that on September the 10th, and they released their final report of the 2024 general election, 79-page report from the independent special counsel Connell and Foley. And so if you go to the website, you'll see the report that was done about the issues that we had in the county with last year's election of 2024. So you can go to see that. Let's see, on September the 9th, with the rest of the committee members, attended the OEM meeting at the firehouse, and I'm sure Mr. Bartlett will elaborate on that. And on September 16th, I attended, we had our joint insurance fund meeting. And I think that's all I have.
Thank you.
Mayor.
Phil?
All right. August 20th, I attended the monthly court session as liaison. August 21st, we got everything set up for the band at the historical waterfront park. That was Portsmouth Henry. The turnout was good. Also, September 2nd, I attended the joint land use board meeting. And then on September 9th, like Fern had said, we attended the OEM drill practice for upcoming storms and disasters. September 10th, I had the recreation meeting. We were discussing upcoming events, and I had to reach out to Environmental Advisory Board for interest in Hawk Island cleanup. They're looking around the first or the second weekend in November. September 11th, we set up for the reschedule concert that was rained out on the 4th at the waterfront park. Vibration was the band. It was a new group that we brought in. They did very well. And I want to thank Vinnie's for stepping in. Chick-fil-A had backed out at the last minute, so Vinnie stepped in to sell their food. September 17th, attended the monthly court session again. And also September 18th, we had our final concert series at Hawk Island Marina. It was a very packed house, a lot attended. It was another great final concert series. And then September 20, went to see Chief Basil with the Cops and Bobbers. It was a great event. I thought it was very well done, and I want to thank the chief and his officers. They did a great job.
Appreciate that.
That's it for me, Mayor.
Thank you. Busy month. Mr. Bartlett?
All right, I'll keep it short and sweet. Attended the fire company meeting on August 25th, normal business, and the fire commission on the 26th. As Janice mentioned, the fire department is doing its hoagie sale fundraiser this Saturday. Come up starting at 9 a.m. till we sell out to get your Italian turkey or American hoagies. Attended the OEM Emergency Operations Center drill on September 9th. That's a run-through and activation and operation of the Emergency Operations Center in the event we have a storm or other disaster in town. So long story short, when there's some big crisis in town, if it's throughout the county, if there's a huge storm coming through, if there's a hurricane or tornado barreling down, the county may go into overflow mode where they just can't keep up with the volume of calls. So we'll activate the local emergency operations center at the firehouse. They will forward non-serious calls, like trees down, things like that, wires down. They'll forward them directly to the firehouse, and we'll dispatch automatically from there. So we have a whole setup we do locally in town, and this was a run-through of that, simulating exactly what would take place, who would perform what functions, and things of that nature. So thank you to all the committee folks who attended, as well as other members of the community. Last week, October 16th, I attended a National Weather Service Integrated Warning Team workshop. Speaking of the weather, the theme this year was topics covering hydrology and probabilistic forecasting. They went into discussing how forecasts are made, including information about river flooding and things of that nature, and various tools to allow emergency managers to review this. As local emergency managers, we rely heavily on the National Weather Service and the County Emergency Management to issue bulletins and alerts to us, to let us the local residents know important things of this nature, but it's good for us to also have some knowledge on it, which this workshop gave us. And tomorrow we have the County Emergency Management meeting at the Training Center in West Hampton. Finally, I attended the Board of Ed meeting last Wednesday night at Walnut Street School, and it's great to see the new superintendent, Dr. Torchici, in action, and he's giving it all. Literally, he's at the school every day of the week, and I don't mean just weekdays. He's there Saturdays and Sundays, just getting whatever he needs to do done to get the district back in the right direction. So as a parent of a child in the district and a grandchild next year in the district, thank you, Dr. T. As a side note, among the agenda items approved was hiring on various staff positions and approving various costs for tuitions. One thing I found interesting was the approval of the tuition contract with BCIT for $357,000 and change. That seems like a huge number. Then you do the math. It's for 92 kids, so it works out to just about $3,800 a student. And if you go a couple months back to look at the tuition with Riverside High School, we pay $17,500 per child. So huge, huge savings on the children that go to BCIT, and they come out there with a good knowledge of something that they could use in their future. So it's just interesting point for the big difference in the tuition between the two schools that the kids have options to.
Yeah, considering the 8th grade class usually has about 40 kids, that's about half of the graduating class that goes there.
Yep.
So,
That's
great.
all I have.
thank you.
Thanks.
And it will always be Bartlett, sorry.
You'll eventually pronounce my name right.
No, I won't. Okay, I attended most of the meetings
I
that,
forgot Kate.
oh, sorry,
Oh,
Kate.
she wants to skip my report. I mean, I
Subconscious,
think this is
sorry.
planet, don't you think?
Sorry about that.
Thank
It's
you,
just
Mayor.
bouncing side to side there.
The Delanco Youth Sports Association met on August 26th, and the meetings are now scheduled quarterly rather than monthly. They went over several items for budget purposes. A transition is in place for soccer from the Riverfront League to the new Burlington County Youth Soccer League. They're doing a partnership with Delran. They have 180, they probably have more than 160 registrations, probably up to about 180 by now, for soccer. And basketball registration is open. They're starting clinics, and officers' elections will be held in December, date to be determined. Delanco seniors met on August 9th at the firehouse. The president, Linda Y., welcomed everyone back and discussed the trips scheduled for the balance of this year and also the trips scheduled for 2026. She reported on all the upcoming events at the library. I provided the upcoming events for Delanco as well, advising them to sign up for the township's email to be kept in the loop as to what's happening in town and the library. The speaker was Julia Gandy, a certified massage therapist and wellness coach. We did an exercise to assist in defining feelings that cause depletion and stress, and activities and feelings that would provide relief and a feeling of renewal. It was really a nice exercise. Sewer Authority met on August 9th. Stylex is no longer in need of the permit from DEP to discharge certain waste, so they will be having that permit terminated. Rancocas Avenue emergency repairs have been completed and the final payment was made. TV inspections, root cutting, and heavy cleaning is being awarded to Mobile Dredging and Video Pipe, subject to the approval of the QPA. 450 Creek Road will be connected to our sanitary sewer line. They currently have septic. And we did hire a new employee. I'm pleased to announce he's a young man from Delanco. Phil, I think it's your nephew, Dominic Allen.
For sewers, yeah.
Yeah. Our operator's report is on file, and we will be meeting via Zoom in the summer months next year, June, July, and August. OEM, as Matt indicated, all the township committee was there present to make sure that we knew what we would be required to do during an emergency. Recreation met on September 10th. A list of work orders for Public Works was distributed. They're doing a great job in keeping up with the items in need of repair, preparing the fields for soccer, and various jobs requested of them. As everyone knows, the women's clubs host the 5K run in October, and they also provide the flowers and decorations for the park, the Gateway Park. But Public Works has agreed to, again, take care of putting them up for us. We hope to receive an updated plan for Centennial Park to be reviewed and approved at our next meeting. Janice did a great job in mentioning all the activities that are listed for October. And I just want you to know that all those activities are sponsored by Recreation. The last concert of the historic waterfront park was on the 11th, the band Verbatim, and I attended that with some of my friends from high school. It was a beautiful night. And the last concert of the season at Hawk Island Marina, yesterday's gone, I enjoyed it from my deck with some friends that came over because that place was so packed and I can hear it. But they did a great job. Cleanup Day was discussed, John Fenimore, so I see that EAB is going to take care of that. 2 more statues located at the Singer property have been approved for donation. They're Ruth Saphir's statues. We hope to have them moved to Gateway Park, the 9/11 and the Heart. So I'm looking forward to seeing those moved. Shade Tree, the August meeting was canceled. The next meeting is this Wednesday night, September 24th. And code enforcement, I'm still addressing some issues in town, and I have been talking with Ed and meeting with him. I can definitely see some improvements. And I want to thank Ed for his hard work because he's doing a nice job. And I also volunteered to work on the Veterans flag with the Chairman, John Nardone of the History Board, and their subcommittee. And that's my report, Mayor.
Great, thank you. Sorry I tried to skip you again.
Yeah.
Okay,
Try
like
harder next time.
like I said, I attended most of the meetings that everybody else did. OEM, obviously the Cops and Bobbers event, recreation meeting. Kate covered that. One other thing with Del Riv, their concession stand is open on Saturdays during the soccer games. They sell breakfast sandwiches. They go into lunch as long as there's afternoon games, and they also are selling sweatshirts and long sleeve T-shirts too. So make sure you go out there and support the sports teams on Saturdays. I attended the Board of Ed meeting. Great progress so far with the schools. It's wonderful to see everything that's happening, all the positive changes. Dr. T was at our fishing event with his children on Saturday as well. It's nice to see a superintendent so involved in the community and is really enjoying our town. His kids are actually going to Delanco schools now as well. So it's great. I most importantly attended the closing of 401 Creek Road on September 12th. So the township is now officially the owner of that property. Public Works is handling kind of straightening up, mowing lawns, kind of maintaining the properties now, and there are no trespassing signs up on the property. So that will move us into our special discussion and input session after our public comment period. So, okay, I did forget. First thing to do, I wanted to ask for a moment of silence for Elizabeth Ellie Clare, who passed away earlier this month. She was a resident of Delanco, originally from Germany. She traveled the world with her husband Frank initially, and then they chose Newton's Landing in Delanco to settle down. She was a lovely lady with an adventurous spirit. She wrote for the Newton's Landing newsletter, and she was known for her talents in photography. She loved interviewing residents of Delanco and showcasing them in the newsletter, so she will be missed by all who knew her. So if I could just ask for a moment of silence in memory of Ellie Clare. Thank you very much. Okay, meeting is open to the public now for comments and questions on agenda items. This is session 1. If you have anything you'd like to talk about that is listed on the agenda, you can come up to the podium and state your name and address for the record. Seeing none, I will close session 1 and move on to our public input session for future development of Creek Road. As I mentioned, the township is now the owner of 401 Creek Road. During this process, we spoke publicly about kind of what we had hoped to see the property be developed into, but we also promised to have public input sessions to listen to residents with their ideas. So that's what we're having our first input session tonight. So if you have anything you'd like to talk about for 401 Creek Road and its future, you can come up to the podium and state your name and address.
Yes, my name is Harold Klingler, 509 Buttonwood Street. I was under the impression from past meetings that we were going to buy this land to sell it and make money. So supposedly, we bought it for $3.5 million, somewhere around there, whatever it was. It was supposed to be worth $5.5 million, and then the idea was to sell it and make money. So I'm a little confused at what we're doing now, deciding what to do about it when I thought it was already decided what we were going to do about it.
Well, it was never decided. We purchased it for general municipal purposes. We had ideas what we wanted to do. I know I spoke publicly that I thought we should sell it and put, senior restricted age housing there. But, selling it to who? So we have to determine what we're going to do. So that's why we have a public input session. That's why we give the committee members time to speak their opinion as well. Doug, did you want to elaborate kind of like why we had to buy it and say what we had to say for that purpose?
Well, just generally, when we purchase property, unless we're doing something for purely preservation purposes, municipalities state under the local land and building law that you're basically acquiring it for any acceptable municipally owned purpose. So it's very broad, so as not to foreclose future possibilities. However, clearly the intent was not to buy it only to turn it around and sell it to another industrial developer. So, what that looks like going forward and what the ideas are, to some extent, may be determined by the market, but I think the intent here tonight is also if people have ideas or concepts that they want to share about what they would like to see for the future of that property, we're in a listening mode.
Right, and I understand all that, and my only concern is about the property, is whatever we do, that we're making money on it. That's all I'm concerned about. And I'll give you an example. Because I always like to see this town start to make money instead of spend money. And one of those things was I always thought, geez, why don't we invest in an Easy Pass and put it at the Delanco Bridge? and you may giggle about that, but it's a pretty good investment. And you could have taxpayers of Delanco, residents who pay taxes, would get a free pass, and everybody else would have to pay. And there's a lot of traffic that runs over that bridge between 130 one way and 130 the other way and River Road, a lot of traffic. And that'd be a lot of money.
It would all go to the county though, because we don't own the bridge. So it's the county bridge commission.
Well, somewhere
county
there
road.
we own something, right?
No, we don't
wouldn't
now.
see $1 of that money.
You don't own the road?
Nope,
County
county.
road.
County road.
County road, we don't know.
Burlington Avenue is a county road.
Yeah.
All your major
Oh.
roads in Delanco are county.
Well, then maybe make a deal with the county and cut them in.
They'd have to cut us in.
For a piece of the act.
We'll put an Easy Pass on Buttonwood Street, Hal.
No, that's fine, because I'm a resident. Like I said, taxpayers wouldn't pay. That doesn't go for renters. Renters would have to pay, because they're not taxpayers. So,
I hear you.
but that's just an example
Yeah.
of making money.
So just so you understand, what we did by purchasing this property is economic development. So there's not a lot of land left in Delanco. We've kind of reached our peak of development and how many, new ratables we're going to get. So what we did is we stepped in, instead of having this truck repair facility be built where we're not going to get that much more revenue, we then purchased it to where we could sell it to a developer or whoever, whatever we decide, and get a better ratable there so it generates income, which is more money for the town. So it's an economic development tool that towns use, and that's what we did. So we can bring more revenue into the town.
And there's zero intention, Hal, of keeping this property and not making money on it whatsoever.
Oh, I understand that.
Yeah.
So then, let me ask you one more question, because I think everybody else here would be interested. Is, what do you think should happen with the property?
And that's something we're going to go through here.
Yeah, we're gonna go through that. We're open to the public right now for their comments and suggestions.
But you don't have any ideas?
So
What-
we'll speak after
yeah.
everybody comes up. We'll say what we want to say about our opinion after the public comment session.
Right.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Public comment?
Heather?
Heather Phillips, 209 Edgewood Avenue in Delanco. So this is just pie in the sky type thoughts that I had. I would love to see the space as a community garden, like with plots for a nominal fee that could generate some income. Maybe a community complex, a building structure to house organizations and events. That could also generate some income there. The complex could host maybe a gym for rec type events like basketball and volleyball, a meeting space for local groups such as the seniors and other club organizations, a space to host the Delanco history as an organization, so it could then collect and display items pertaining to Delanco's rich history, not just what they're able to do here, but in a larger scale. Maybe even a public library space to hold library events. The complex and maybe an additional garden that could host maybe even weddings, showers, and parties for a fee. And that you would generate income by housing those events and things like that. So that's kind of where I was kind of thinking the space could be used for.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Heather.
Thanks, Heather.
Hi, Dave Spuller from 57 Walton Way. So I know there's been discussion about an age restricted residence there. And right now there's probably about 1,000 residents, back of the envelope estimate, in Delanco already, age restricted 55 plus developments. So one thought I would have is that you may want to think about what happens when people move out of those 55 plus houses, because they're not forever houses. People hit a certain age, certain physical characteristics have to move on. So right now there's a place called Azalea down on Route 130 in Cinnaminson, which is assisted living and also memory care, and also it's got some independent care also, but it's basically a multi-level, 5.5 acre lot. So that's like half the space that you can't really have this property. So, and there's several hundred residents there. So something like that would bring in a good amount of revenue, and would also allow people who are in Newton's Landing or crossings of Delanco Station to stay in Delanco if they, when they hit that age where they decide that it's time that they can't really take care of their own house.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you.
I'm sorry, sir, your first name, your name?
David?
again? David?
Yeah, last name Sabulo,
And it was 51 Walton?
57 Walton Way.
57 Walton, okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Anyone else? This isn't about trees, you know that, right? I know. Okay.
Don't get old. Ray Weber, 22 Ships Way. In reference to the 401 Creek, I looked at the size of the land and everything else in there, and just so that it wouldn't affect the schools, because I know the schools can't handle it right now. I was looking at it from an engineering and architectural type of design and stuff. You could probably fit at least 20 townhouses in there, which would go for about $400,000, which would bring in it would cost about $8 million in total. Houses in Newton's Landing, as a gentleman just stated, lives on Walton Way. Right now, the average house price in there is over $400,000. The last one just sold on the 19th for $415,000. That's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath house. We have one that's going on, it's going to be going for over $515,000, and the third one for $499,000. So putting in townhouses, 2-bedroom, 2-bath, you're looking, I just roughly did $400,000 just for rounding, made it easier. Maybe you could put in there assisted living, because none of us are getting any younger, and what happens is there's more of us than they realize in Delanco, I think. And you need someplace for the people who want to stay in Delanco, because that's where I want to stay, and stuff like that. And then the last thing was, I know the township public works guys are complaining about having to keep their stuff outside and things like that. Last thing would be putting in a pole barn or something, or using that garage that's there for that. That's my thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ray.
Anyone else?
Joanne Schlemwein, 316 Oakford Avenue.
Through this process, there's been great things and not so good things. But one thing that's been consistent, I believe, is the positive piece of strategic planning. The number one tax part of our bill is the schools. And it's been clear about the impact on schools if and when you plan for housing. The one thing we don't always talk about, though, is that strategic planning, nothing's going to go down. And even watching the gubernatorial debate, nothing's going to go down. Utilities, salaries, unbelievable analysis on projection of benefits and prescription. I listened very closely to Chief Warren and before him, Chief Tilger, in statistics, and nothing is going down. I pay attention to the staff with bills. Tremendous increases in the past 8 months. So I implore you to really focus in, what do you want this town to look like financially? Debbie's second meeting, you spoke about how good we are financially. And then you take that and you look at the other 39 municipalities in this county, and nobody can really say that. So we have to think about tomorrow. We have to think about the costs, or you're not going to be able to do the extras. You're only going to be able to pay bills and pay for staff. And then that will then create another uproar. So thank you so much for all you do and your time.
Thank you very much.
Jim Tracy, 10 Harlow Place, Newton's Landing. And I talked to Kate yesterday and let her know my feelings, but I want to address everybody else. I've been a resident of Delanco since 1970. Lived on Fenimore Lane, 210 Fenimore Lane for 30 years. And I've been a resident of Newton's Landing since December 1st, 2001. We were the first ones to move in. And a little history, does anybody remember Mr. Randekamp?
Yeah,
Yeah, well, he was the developer.
he's still around.
Yeah, he's still around. But when that development came about, where the point is, was supposed to be an assisted living type thing, where if there was a resident of Newton's Landing that became ill and needed care, they could go in there. And this gentleman back here said about Azalea. Has anybody seen Azalea? Been
Yeah.
down there?
I did go after you told me about it. I took a ride.
Did you go inside?
I didn't go inside. I just,
Well,
it's a beautiful place.
not that I'm pro Azalea, but my daughter works there. It's beautiful. There's 3 residents of Newton's Landing living there. They sold their houses, and the houses in Newton's Landing, if they're on the market for a week, that's a long time.
That's true.
Because there's people that ride through there all the time asking if anybody's selling. But with the Azalea, they have assisted living, they have independent living, and they call it OPAL. It's the memory care. So anybody that's getting older, we know that the memory goes too. But look into that. The corporate company is called Leisure Care, and they are in a number of states, and I know they have a big complex up in Hamilton. I think it's Hamilton or Robbinsville, one of them. I just had it on here. And it's very nice, and it seems like they have a lot of activities for the people, and there's always something going on. They had a big Easter party that I went down to see, and they had music there, live band. They had things for the kids that came in to see Grandma and Grandpa. And it was a nice, big affair. It's a 3-story unit. Up on the 3rd floor, they have an opening where residents can go up and enjoy the outdoors. And they also are right there by Lidl. And a lot of the residents walk down and do their shopping and come back. And if something like that went in the Creek Road here, just imagine, people would be happy with a creek front view, and it could be set back away from the road, and the front of the azalea, don't look at it from Route 130, because all you're going to see is big brick walls. Pull in, look at it. It's very welcoming. We have a old school teacher, we're all old. Bernie Smith taught school over in Riverside. He's a resident there now. And it seems like the people that are there are happy. And I think if something like that went into Creek Road, the people of Delanco would be happy. Because let's face it, when the Newton's Landing came in, and the station down there, and even the condos, the tax revenue that has created. I know Newton's Landing, we're approaching $9,000 base. So multiply that by 400. So,
It's 17% of our tax base, yes.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So keep Delanco happy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thanks, Jim.
Appreciate that. Anyone else? Mr. Marilevich?
Marilevich, 304 Center Avenue. I'd like to see at least half of the property preserved. When it was originally pitched, everybody was concerned about the trees out there. This back end is a magnificent mature beech forest, and the buffer with Field of Dreams is also spectacular. So whatever development happens out there should be sensitive to those uses. That's all I had to say.
Okay.
Thanks, Bill.
Thank
Thanks
you,
very
Bill.
much. Anyone else?
Christine Causer, 305 Fenimore Lane.
Hi.
I'm hearing a lot of housing development, which I'm totally fine with. I would just request that it fit within the architectural features of the township and not be high-rise in nature. I would also like to second the preservation of trees and natural environment as much as possible. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Going once? Going twice? I will close our public input session here and thank everyone for their comments. Any comments from the committee? Don't all
Which way are we
go
going?
once?
I have,
No.
I have a lot of thoughts. I'd like to wait until we have another public comment session, but I think all the suggestions are good. I'd like to see us be able to keep part of the property for open space and have something that would generate income, more tax revenue for the town, and something that would be senior-oriented, designated, so that senior is a little bit different than age-restricted. You can do a senior as well. And I think that is a good idea for, as Jim had indicated and the other individual, Dave had said, I did go down and take a look at Azalea. I didn't go inside. I'm not particularly fond of a 3-story building myself, but as I said, I would, like to hear other comments from the township. I haven't really made up my mind because I think that's important that we discuss all those comments. But there's some of my thoughts right now.
Thank you. Phil, anything to say?
I mean, originally I was 100% acquire, resell, age restricted, townhomes, houses, whichever the residents were going to make the most money from. I do like the idea of an independent care and assisted living to keep the residents in Delanco. So, like Kate said, I would rather wait and get more input to see and do some research on each option we have available.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Bartlett?
Yeah, like Phil, initially I was thinking just senior townhomes, things like that, but I do like what Dave and Jim brought up about some sort of continuing elder care, assisted living. I think that's a great idea for that location, and definitely, as Mr. Malevich said, try to do some preservation there as well toward the rear of the property, and Ms. Kuzer said. I think what Ms. Phillips said about having, community options, I think that's a great idea. Fiscally, I don't think we could do that. I'd love it, but we got to be realistic. I don't think that's ever going to happen because we need to be able to sell the property because, our residents can't tolerate a tax increase, which we would have if we kept that property. And, for the months and months of public sessions and public hearings for about 401, as well as the bonding referendum afterward, that's all we heard is the tax increases. We can't do a tax increase. And if we kept this property to do township things, even, if we offset it with income for rentals, that will never offset the cost of keeping it. Obviously, I haven't done any sort of study on that, but, just off the cuff numbers, it just wouldn't be feasible. But I would love if, perhaps we can incorporate that somehow. If we did do some sort of assisted living facility there, perhaps they could have some standalone room that various township organizations could use. But, like Phil and Kate said, we're going to have another public input session where I think it would be, valuable to hear some other ideas from the public as well. But the most important thing, as Mr. Klingler said, got to make money on it.
Yeah, or at least make our money back.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thank you. Mr. Olet, anything to add?
Yes. Okay. As we went over the past number of months, and we opposed the debt of the $3.5 or $3.6 million, we weren't in opposition to development of the land. It was the debt. And that's where we're looking at. We've purchased the property. Township owns the property. Getting the input from our residents is very important. The assisted living or independent living facility is something new that you folks brought out this evening. Again, putting that into the basket of options that we as the Township Committee and as a community need to, I think, consider with that piece of property. I would caution that in wanting to do that, that we don't, as much as we want to preserve, and we have the wetland back there, if we start doing a trade with the county, that we don't want to do that too quickly, because whatever developer comes in, whether it's for assisted living or we end up with 55 and older community there, we don't want to restrict their ability to develop that land because they may need that for water runoff or retention basins. So that would be my only caution there, but as we go forward, again, more input from the residents, I think, is important.
Thank you. And just to make a quick note, we did actually have a Zoom call with Doug and Debbie and Scott regarding the county land swap that we had talked about preliminarily. And we had kind of agreed that we would make that part of the process, that we weren't going to carve that off just yet to kind of mitigate any issues with future developments. So that was something we were already cognizant of. So that, thanks for bringing that up. But we did definitely already have that conversation. In the back of my mind, assisted living has always kind of been an option. It's just feasibility as far as can we sell the property? Is it feasible for a developer to buy that for $3.6 million, build the property, and still be able to make money? So it's something we'd have to discuss with them if that's something that they would even be interested in from a business standpoint, if that's something that would work for their business model. I had always thought kind of 55 and older, more condensed, like apartments or condos, because you want to make sure that the developer can buy that property and then be able to make money on it for the $3.6 million. So still options out there, still a lot to discuss. Obviously, we just own this property for about a week now, but we are moving quickly on it. We will do our due diligence. It's not something we're rushing, but it's something we don't want to sit on, as we've discussed before we bought the property, that we would make sure we continue to move forward, have our meetings with our professionals, and handle this the right way for the long term of our town. We have to make the best decision, as it's something that will affect all of our futures. So thank you all for your comments. We really appreciate everything, and some great ideas and some great comments. So thank you very much for that. And then we'll have one more of these at our next meeting in October as well. Okay, so moving on to consent agenda, unless anyone has anything else they'd like to add.
I think there's only one thing, Mayor, that I left out. Whatever we do there, it has to be age restricted or
Yes.
senior or anything, so it does not impact our schools.
I don't even think that's a question at this point.
No, but I just want to make
Yeah.
that clear, that we're not going to be doing anything,
Right.
or at least I'm not going to be voting yes on anything that puts any more children into our already overcrowded schools.
Right, and we've kind of said that from Jump Street.
Yep.
And that's kind of what we're sticking towards, so.
Just for those who haven't heard anything over the last 8 to 9 months.
Yeah.
No
So
kids.
sell the property, at least get our money back, put something there that's going to be a great rateable, that continue to generate income for our town to help offset, our tax increases and continued expenses. No impact to the schools, low impact to that area, but continue to reflect the vision of our town and our master plan and kind of our vision for the town in the future. So that's where we're headed, and thank you for trusting us with that, and we will continue to keep you updated as we have in the past and maintain our transparency with you. So moving on to the consent agenda items. Consent agenda items are considered to be routine and will be enacted with a single motion. Any item requiring discussion will be removed from the consent agenda. All consent agenda items will be reflected in full in the minutes. Anyone have anything they'd like to remove from the consent agenda or talk about?
I'm good.
Okay, Resolution 2025-137, disposal of out-of-service office equipment. Resolution 138, disposal of out-of-service police department equipment. Resolution 139, resolution appointing a health insurance broker for the Township of Delanco through the fair and open competitive contracts process. Resolution 140, resolution awarding bid and contract for road improvement program. That's the 2024. It's actually the 2025 road program, right, Deb?
Yes.
It's actually the 2025 road program for Delaware Avenue. Resolution 141, authorizing execution of agreement with Gravelly Hollow Road Associates LLC, developer of High Point property at John Mayer Way. Approved payment of bills in the amount of $337,184.16 as per the bill list dated 9/19/25. Can I get an approval motion to approve the consent agenda, please?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Motion by Phil, second by Matt. Roll call, please.
Mr. Bartlett?
Yes.
Ms. Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Mr. McFadden?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
Ms. Seuss?
Yes, thank you. Okay, moving on to 2 items regarding Delanco Shade Tree Commission. We have 2 appeals that we will hear tonight for 210 Peachtree Lane and 41 Emery Way. We'll do the 210 Peachtree Lane first, because that's what's listed here first. Just give us a second so we can pull up our documents here. Okay, so the appeal was submitted by the homeowner Miriam Makuda, 210 Peachtree Lane. Request for corrective action for a municipal tree placement near the sewer line infrastructure. I'm just going to kind of, she wrote to us as a resident to respectfully appeal the denial of a request to remove a municipally owned tree located in her property on Peachtree Lane. It was planted approximately 15 years ago with the approval of Shade Tree Committee. It's situated near the lateral sewer line servicing her home After purchasing the property in 2024, she was informed by the previous owners, supported by private neighbor testimony, that trees' roots had intruded into the PVC sewer pipe, causing a blockage that required professional plumbing services. Delanco Sewer Authority inspected the location and recommended removal of the tree due to its proximity of underground utilities, the potential for continued interference. Several points were presented during the Shade Tree Committee review that warrant clarification, so we'll let her go through those. And then we will hear from Shade Tree. So do we want to hear from the resident first, and then?
I believe it's her appeal, so I believe she has the right to.
Yes, so we'll hear from the resident first, and if she's here,
Resident here.
and then we'll have Shade Tree come up right after that, if you guys want to have a seat till then.
Hello.
Hi.
Just your name and address for the
Mira
record.
Makura, 210 Peachtree Lane. So I'm not sure if you want me to read it again.
Well, do you want to talk, I
because-
kind of read your letter. Do you want to talk about the points that warrant clarification? Your bullet points? Do you want to talk about that?
I may not have the copy that I submitted with me.
I have
So
one.
would you mind reading them?
Here you go. You can have it. Just so it comes from you. There you go.
Okay, so several points were presented during the Shade Tree Committee review that I would like to, that were clarification. The tree expert assumed root intrusion was due to porous terracotta pipe, not realizing it had been replaced with PVC in the 90s. It was also argued that removing the tree wouldn't eliminate root risk without acknowledging root persists far longer when the tree remains in place. The sewer authority removal recommendation was dismissed without technical rebuttal. The tree's location, approximately 6 feet from the sewer line, was argued to be safe despite the tree root systems regularly extending 20 to 15 feet for mature cherry tree species. Photographs show visible root spread reaching utility markers and access covers. I don't have the pictures, but I'm sure you saw the pictures, right? One thick tree root was severed in 2 places, clear physical proof of prior infrastructure interference. Aesthetic value was prioritized over risk mitigation. Neighbor testimony was discounted due to lack of formal records. Budgetary concerns were confirmed not to influence their decision. Would you like me to read further?
If you'd like to, sure.
Ultimately, this appeal seeks corrective action for the Shade Tree Committee, misguided approval of planting the tree too close to sensitive infrastructure. I respectfully urge the Delanco Township Committee to reconsider this matter with a focus on responsible planning and infrastructure protection. I remain available for further questions.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Yes, I mean, it's pretty clear that the objective for the Shade Tree Committee is to preserve the tree. I'm not asking them to kill the tree. I'm asking them to remove the tree. That tree could be removed and replanted somewhere else. So it's just a matter of the method of removal.
Okay,
That's
can
all
I
I
ask
have.
you a question? Did
Yes.
you have the sewer line cameraed and scoped to show video of the roots in the pipe at all?
No, because what would that prove? There's no issue right now. I'm trying to prevent the issue from recurring, and the issue will recur from the external factors, not from the inside the pipe. So I'm not sure what hiring a plumber, putting a camera inside achieve, would
So
achieve.
recurring, so there was roots in the pipe?
Yes.
Yes.
In the
Yes.
PVC pipe?
Yes.
Well, that means that there's a leak in your pipe then,
No,
because
there was
roots
no.
seek water.
No, roots, no.
That's not true.
The roots penetrated the top of the cover where the
clean out
The
is?
clean
clean
out?
out is. And they had to remove a root from inside because it broke the cover. The cover was replaced, and now there's no roots in there. However, the tree is still there, and it's going to happen again. So I'm trying to prevent the issues.
Okay,
I get it.
Thank you very much.
all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Brown?
Hello.
Good
Hi,
evening.
John.
I'm John Brown, Chair of the Shade Tree Commission. I'm also with Bill Malevich, my Vice Chair. Kevin Zabilia is our shade tree expert, our certified arborist. We have debated this, not on our part, because we're pretty convinced. It looks like the sewer pipe has been replaced. Okay, Ms. Makuta had admitted that she did not have any sewer issues, okay? So until we were to see, we asked if she could video the pipe, a process that may cost $400. If her pipe was breached, I feel that she should have really wanted to see that, because if you need, I think the whole thing is replaced, because there's 2 cleanouts that are PVC, one near the street and one in the back. Roots won't attack that PVC and cave it in. The terracotta, yes, then we have an issue. But unless the homeowner is willing to replace the entire sewer line, why take the tree down? Okay? So we looked at the condition of the tree this past spring. It was absolutely amazing when it bloomed. And we're losing a lot of trees. We have 26 trees that have to be removed with this year's budget, and we're trying to not cut down unnecessary trees. She bought the house, according to her testimony, at Shade Tree. She's only been a resident for a year or 2. She went by the word of the neighbor across the street that there was sewer issue, but the sewer issue looks like it may have been corrected based on the photos of the cleanouts that are PVC, okay? We looked at the root structure. Kevin, I wish you would come up and testify that the roots are not going to impede on that PVC pipe, okay? The sewer superintendent came out and looked, but he didn't put a camera down there. He just opened it up and looked down, said it's got to come out. Well, you know, historically in this town, sewer authority and trees, they don't get along. So, Kevin?
Hi, Kevin Shabilia. I'm a New Jersey licensed tree expert. And as Mr. Bartlett pointed out, roots are opportunistic and they move to favorable conditions. So if you have a leaky pipe, then the roots will proliferate in that direction. And yes, they will get into the pipe and they'll cause problems. As far as crushing the pipe, that can happen if the pipe is directly under a massive tree. This tree is a small stature tree. It's not going to get massive, and the sewer line is offset by 6 feet. So crushing of that pipe due to the weight of the tree pushing down on it is not going to happen. The situation here doesn't have a problem. And it's a nice tree. It's got many more years left in it. And professionally, I'm reluctant to preemptively remove a healthy tree for a potential problem, because that opens up every tree in Delanco.
And we couldn't replant, I'm sorry, we couldn't replant the tree. It's too mature. It wouldn't work.
That tree would break
Right.
apart.
You
Yeah.
couldn't transplant that.
Yeah, it's too big.
It would be wildly expensive. I mean, it's possible. It would be wildly expensive.
What is the life of a cherry tree?
Typically, they start to decline after about 30 years.
Because I know we've lost several because they've died off or they've caused issues. Because that one's been planted for quite some time, so it's already got at least 10 or 15 years on it.
Yeah, do we have an approximate age?
Yeah, it's 1990, I think.
Okay.
I would like to add that
Well,
Ms. Makuta stated that we planted the tree. The homeowner planted that tree.
She said it was approved by Shade Tree. She didn't say it was
We
planted
don't
by.
know that for a fact.
Well,
He was a landscaper, and I believe he just put them in. but he
I'll let you come back up when they're
Our
done.
easement, okay? So, I've lost my train of thought.
The age of the tree.
The age, we're talking about Shade Tree approving it. We don't know if you definitely
Yeah, we
approved
don't
it.
know. There's no sidewalk there, which is also a plus. It's not competing with anything. There is a private tree she has on her lawn that is far enough away. Listen, I can't see cutting down a perfectly good tree. If there was evidence of continually sewer problems, but she hasn't had a problem.
the roots are a problem. I mean, the
Roots are
roots,
a problem everywhere.
I know,
You
but
have to have roots on this
there's
earth to
trip
keep it all together.
hazards. It's a trip.
There's no sidewalk, Kate.
I know, but people still have to walk up to the property. I mean, in order to get to her front door, you walk up on the property.
Not
The
there.
roots are a hazard.
Was there a walkway there?
No, but you have to walk through the grass. There may be a walkway. I'd have to,
Normally people went up the driveway and up a walkway to the front door.
not if you park on Peachtree. People don't have, I mean, if I'm visiting her, if I visit Joan or Miriam, I'm not gonna park in their driveway. I'm gonna park on the street.
There's a step over
We're
there.
supposed to remove trees because there's roots that somebody can trip over.
Yeah, because it's a problem. The roots in, I'm sorry,
But I never
I have a
heard, Kate,
different-
I never heard in this case,
Yeah.
the tree to be
12 years
removed because of tripping hazards of roots.
no,
It
I
was
know,
always
I know.
about the
I
sewer
brought that
district.
up myself when I went out to look
Let's
at the
stick to the
tree.
case.
But then
It's
the
about the
case
sewer law.
is if our sewer authority, I do take recommendations from professionals. And I am a tree lover. I just planted 3 trees in my lot. So it's not that I'm against trees. But when you have a professional asked to come out and take a look, which he was,
Provided no proof.
and he showed pictures of how close the tree roots were to the sewer. I mean, you can see it right here. Yeah,
I've seen
and
it.
I take that opinion very seriously. So with
But
this,
don't you take the word of the professional that?
He's out of his league. He knows sewer. I know trees. I've seen hundreds of trees excavated, and I myself have excavated stumps of trees. So when I tell you that the pipe can be crushed when it's under a massive stump, I've actually seen that. I think he should stick to the sewer, and I'll stick to the trees.
And I'll share the shade tree, because we're trying to save trees, shade, provide shade. But we're not irresponsible. We don't just put dangerous trees, we do remove dangerous situations, unhealthy trees. We have criteria that we meet, and we meet every month, and you're there.
I know.
You know, we don't save them all, we do take some down. There's some that split, there's some that get struck by lightning, there's some at the school bus stops. We do remove them. This one here is no threat to anyone. Bill, did you want to add anything? You good? Okay.
Marion wants to come back.
Yes. Anybody else have any questions for Shade Tree?
I would like to clarify 2 points.
Sure.
The first one, I spoke to Mr. Brown on the phone, the first conversation we ever had. And he said that he volunteered this information. We did not plant the tree. However, it was on the list of our approved species. We approved planting that tree by the homeowner 15 years ago. To me, same thing. Second, you're saying that the tree is very small. However, it's too big for being removed and replanted? So which one? Is it too big or too small?
Well, if you know anything about replanting trees,
I
it
do
takes a
know
certain machine
something
to,
about
you know,
replanting
dig
trees.
up, I don't ever
And
know.
have seen mature trees to be dug out and replanted
think it would make
safely.
it. I don't think it would make it, and that was never an issue. You know, we never discussed
Okay, but I'm
that.
not asking you to kill the tree.
You
I'm
are.
asking you to remove the tree.
That'll kill the tree.
Not
Don't kill the
necessarily
tree.
if you do it right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, she said that.
Anybody else have any comments or questions on this application?
How far down is the sewage pipe?
Well, we had no camera proof to see, but basically it goes down, what, about 4 feet, isn't it?
It should be around 36, 39 inches if it was normal.
And there's a clean out toward the back of the house too, that you can see from the street. PVC, white PVC, so it looks as if it was replaced. Replacing the sewer in Delanco with your PVC alleviates your root problems.
And from that connection at the street to the house is the homeowner's responsibility,
Correct.
the sewer line, yes.
And this PV, I'm just looking at Google Street View, which remarkably hasn't been updated since 12 years ago, and that PVC cleanout isn't there then. So it was sometime between now and 12 years ago when
Would there be a
that sewer
permit
light-
on that? Wouldn't they need a permit?
should be a street opening permit if they went out into the road unless they cut it behind the curb.
Okay.
We did ask for that proof, even through our secretary to check with construction. We never got any response on that. If there were issues, if we have receipts from this, the sewer cleanout people, receipts, well, first of all, if the pipe were to be dug up, you probably replace the line before the tree.
I'm actually looking here at Google Street View, and if you look at the street, it looks like there's a cut right where the sewer would be. Maybe I'm crazy here.
No, you're not crazy. Oh.
Not for that.
Not for that. Where, isn't that the cleanout? Yeah.
Is that the cleanup? No, that's.
Isn't that it? Yeah, look at your picture.
No, the cleanout's much further from the tree.
Oh.
Here's the
See
picture.
right there? And
Now, what
then-
is that mark out there?
That, I don't
Is
know.
that gas?
That could be gas as
There's
well.
water too.
Well, gas is directly to the right of that tree.
Yeah. And there's water too.
One of the pictures demonstrates there's a gas line.
I see,
Yep.
I see the flag there.
I was out there today, I saw
Yeah.
the gas line.
Yeah.
Okay, I will hold our decision until after the next application.
Okay.
41 Emery Way, is the homeowner here? No?
Mr. Mongula here?
I don't think he's here.
Doesn't look like it. Jack Mangola?
Was he notified? Did they get notified?
They did, yes.
They did, yes. Okay, Mr. Brown, you got the floor.
Okay, this is a totally different situation than 210 Peachtree. So let me explain what's going on in Newton's Landing. Of course, we've had people testify, the property values are great, blah, blah, blah. It's a beautiful tree-lined community. We do have sidewalk lifting going on there, of which we've been addressing little by little, budget allowed. This particular red maple is in good health, okay? There are no utilities close to the area. The sidewalk at the driveway is lifted, of which we have it on our sidewalk enhancement program. However, the homeowner wants to appeal this decision to remove the tree. The only problem that he states is that the root is running up along his driveway. However, it has not affected his driveway, and the root is not really lifted off the ground that much to where it becomes a tripping hazard. We've had this situation in Newton's where it went up the front lawn and we did remove that. This one, I don't feel, is a threat to anybody walking there. It's not cracking the driveway, it's not damaging infrastructure, and we do have it on the sidewalk list. Now, what worries me in Newton's Landing is if you do this, if you grant this removal, you're gonna have a whole slew of them coming in. Because we get calls and requests from Newton's Landing all the time, wrong tree, wrong place, developer should have known, blah, blah, blah.
Well, they're not wrong.
Yeah, they're
Not
not
at all.
wrong.
Yeah,
Listen.
no.
They all bought in there with those baby trees and they loved them. You know, did they think what's gonna happen in 30 years, 20,
Well,
30 years?
I don't think we can blame the residents.
No, you
It's the
can't.
developer and the person that
So what do
approved
you
it.
guys are in charge of the purse? You wanna cut them all down?
Well, I don't want their sidewalks and their plumbing to be disturbed and, decimated by it.
We got a grant a few years ago, a CDBG grant, and at that time, we could use it for a senior development.
Yeah,
And so we replaced a ton of sidewalks.
I know,
at Roots
$100,000
Landing.
worth.
And this happened to be one of the places that
Yeah.
we replaced the sidewalk, and they're all coming up again.
Well, we have come up with an alternative method to address the lifted sidewalks, which is working. We have
The
many
pavers, yeah.
many
He-
paver projects.
Yeah, he indicated in his letter to us that Shade Tree was gonna send him that information regarding pavers, and he had yet to receive it.
He's on our list, okay?
No, we were gonna
Why,
send
he
him
wanna do it himself?
literature. at the meeting, we were gonna send him literature,
Okay.
and we didn't.
I'm going to take a minute and read his letter into the record, so we have it. Jack Mongola, 41 Emery Way, addressed to Mrs. Simonera. I hope this letter finds you well. I'm writing to formally appeal the decision of the Shade Tree Commission, express my growing concern regarding a large tree located at Township easement in front of my property. This tree, which was originally planted by a developer and approved by the township more than 20 years ago, has now reached a size that possesses significant safety, structural, and liability issues. I have had a neighbor trip and fall on a sidewalk. Over time, the tree's roots have aggressively spread, undermining the sidewalk and now extending into my driveway. As a result, the sidewalk has been raised by approximately 3 inches, creating a serious tripping hazard. Given that homeowners are held responsible for injuries that may occur on adjacent sidewalks, I'm deeply concerned about the potential for accidents and legal and financial liability that may occur at no fault of my own. Approximately 2 or 3 years ago, a single square of concrete was replaced in an attempt to address the problem. Unfortunately, this effort proved to be a temporary Band-Aid solution and did not stop the ongoing root intrusion and elevation of the sidewalk. As I understand it, the maintenance of this tree falls under the township. During a recent meeting, the shade tree has acknowledged that this particular species of tree should have not been planted in such a confined location due to its ultimate size and root behavior. The chairman of Shade Tree provided 2 recommendations to either replace the affected concrete again or to install pavers to bridge over the roots. He also mentioned he would follow up by emailing a photo of the paver solution to date, but I've not received any such correspondence. Either approach seems like yet another temporary patch rather than a lasting solution. While I appreciate that the tree is beautiful and currently healthy, it's currently long-term hazards for pedestrians and driveways and personal risk for me as a homeowner given the circumstances. I respectfully request that the tree be removed or cut the invasive roots and full replacement of the affected sidewalk in a manner that will not simply result in the same issue repeating itself within a few years. And he hopes that we can work toward a solution that protects the safety of our residents and alleviates the burden placed on homeowners for a township planted tree.
Kevin, do you want to add to this? Mr. Sibilio, our shade tree expert.
There is no doubt that roots cause sidewalk lifting. The problem that we are making when we try to attempt this, to correct it, is that we cut the roots and then we put concrete back over those cut roots. When you cut the roots of a tree, it tries to close that wound. Just like when we get cut, we start to heal and you get a bump. So yes, when that flag went in 3 years ago, because the tree roots were cut, it grew very quickly to close those wounds and it elevated the sidewalk. So how many years ago did we start this?
Only about
Pavers.
We did a few 20 years ago, but we're still.
The past 3 or 4 years.
So we've begun using essentially concrete bricks, pavers, to bridge over the roots that we don't have to cut them. And the roots will grow much more slowly this way. And if the pavers are knocked out of alignment in 3 or 5 years, it's a very simple matter of just picking up one paver, knocking an edge off, and putting it back in. You don't have to remove an entire 4x4 flag of concrete and then lay more concrete. So it may not be a permanent solution to use brick pavers, but it's a much better solution than what we're trying to do. We are fighting the tide every time that we pick up a concrete slab, cut the roots, and put it down. I don't even want to suggest removing all of the trees that have elevated sidewalks next to them because you're going to be cutting down better than half the trees in town. And I don't think that you want that.
Kevin, can I ask you, how does the pavers stop the roots from growing versus the concrete? I know you're ramping it, but isn't there a base under that?
The pavers are set in stone dust. And so as the roots are growing, they're growing at a relatively, they're adding diameter at a relatively slow rate. The problem that occurs is, well, there's twofold with the concrete. When you damage the roots by replacing the concrete, the roots grow more quickly than if you didn't damage them. The other problem with concrete is that one root, as it's lifting up, it magnifies because you have a large slab. if you lift up one corner, that other corner gets magnified, and it may lift 3 inches. Whereas if you had pavers, each one of those pavers will shift a little bit, and it doesn't get leveraged across an entire slab. So you'll get less disruption with the pavers than you would with a 4-foot by 4-foot concrete slab. So it's a much more forgiving surface for the tree roots, and it's a much easier surface to repair if and when that situation arises.
Did Carol Hildebrand have an issue?
Yeah, Carol Hildebrand's having an issue with the pavers. I gave her the information to contact Jessica to come before the shade tree.
I looked at it, it looks like it's just the edge, the
Did you,
concrete edge.
did she
Came up.
contact here?
Well, we had that request, we had that letter a while ago.
Oh, she approached me at our rec meeting.
None of the bricks are lifting, it's the edging of concrete, which
Yeah.
doesn't affect anything.
And the tree needs to be trimmed, it's hanging, so residents walk, but there's another issue since a couple months ago. But I want to take it back to this, when they replaced those concrete pads, there was a tree that we finally took down at Newton's Landing that had roots all the way up to the front porch, and the roots were like this high off the ground, growing like this. And it was suggested initially at Shade Tree to cut the roots and see if the tree makes it, but eventually we decided to take it out. When they replaced those concrete slabs in that CDBG grant, it was my understanding, and I saw when they lifted the concrete pad on this particular tree, they just put styrofoam in there. They didn't cut, I don't think they cut the roots when they replaced, because I could see what they did on this particular tree. They put styrofoam in between to try to level it, which was, I mean, I think if we saw that during the process, we would have been like, what are you doing? Because that's when CDBG, that grant.
Yeah, I
guess
remember, it wasn't our project. Okay?
No.
That's not how we're addressing.
No, I know, but
And I
I
thought
mean,
the
I don't
CDBG
think those
grant
roots,
was
I don't
stupid
think they were cut then.
Because they would only allow it for a senior community, which the whole town was hurting for.
Right.
Handicap ramps and so forth and so on. So if it didn't work, that's on them, okay?
It
We're
was-
addressing it now. We started that sidewalk enhancement project as a pilot program.
Right.
For the homeowners to catch on to see, this is how it's going to work. This will work, and it has worked throughout the town, and we're saving trees. We're not just cutting down trees and making a desert. You know, we're continuing to keep the shade-lined streets. Newton's Landing had beautiful trees. I rode through there today, but they're constantly not happy with, I got a lift, I got a 2-inch, I got a 1-inch. I actually had a woman call me and said, well, is it fair that I have to rake my leaves every fall? I said, we all do it. We all do it. And I said, don't rake your leaves. You know, leave them on the ground, let them decay. But that's beside the point. But we have 2 appeals here. We will fight for our belief. You did appoint us to the board to make these decisions, just as we appointed you guys to make decisions to buy 401 Creek. We trust you that you're gonna do the right thing. You gotta trust us that we're doing the right thing. We're not trying to hurt anybody. We would be the first ones to tell John Fenimore to come out and take down a dangerous tree in the middle of the night if needed be. So with that, I believe, are we okay? Bill, did you want to add anything? Okay. And no disrespect to the residents. We love the residents. But I do think, I don't think these 2 should come in. Okay. Oh, by the way, the one that did invade the front lawn, we approved that. We did.
I know.
We did not vote against saving it. It was a unanimous decision by the board to take it down because of the root.
I was there. I know initially Kevin suggested cutting the roots to see if we could save the tree, but the board eventually.
I don't think
Yeah,
Kevin
I
would
was,
say that.
I was at the meeting.
That's not a Kevin thing.
Yeah, I know, it was really strange, but I remember he said it.
Yes,
I may have.
Yeah, he did. I wouldn't lie, John.
Okay. All right. So I ask you guys to please make the right decision. Doug, if I may, the subject of the liability comes up quite a bit with the trees and the sidewalks. Could you brief us on who is responsible. I get this all the time, if that limb falls on me, and, you know, blah, blah, blah. Are we not immune from suit, the township, because we're in the Shade Tree Federation?
So we have added immunities and defenses. We still may be named in a suit, but because of our comprehensive Shade Tree Commission, we do have additional defenses beyond other municipalities. And we already have a fair amount of immunity under Title 59 for liability, so the township's in as strong a position it can be on that issue.
Thank you.
And Title 59 is the state.
Basically, the Tort Claims Act that says there's enhanced immunities afforded to municipalities on liability issues.
Thank you. Thank you, Doug. Thank you, Committee.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
I like the logo.
Susan Matera,
What's with the dark strip?
that's the,
Ignore that, John.
that's
It's
the
too
bridge.
big, it's had to be pieced
Oh,
together.
yeah,
Just sit
that's
down,
true.
don't talk about it, thank you.
It's a sour point, John. Don't go there, John.
Susan Matera did that, John.
It's just the way it has to be.
See the trees in the background?
Yeah.
But that's fine.
They almost didn't make the cut. No pun intended.
Anybody else? I mean, is this an open hearing? Can we talk to other people?
Well, Jim's here, so.
Are we allowed to do that?
What are we doing?
A hearing from a resident?
Oh, you can reopen to public comment anytime you want. I didn't know if you wanted to conclude your discussion.
I mean, can we, he wants to talk about this tree? Is that what you,
I want to talk about Newton's Landing.
okay. Can we do that now? Do I have to?
When we do these first.
Okay, just making sure. Well, he wants to comment on this as a resident of Newton's Landing. Go ahead.
Okay, I have a question for the tree.
Hold on. Name and address.
My name again is Jim Tracy, 10 Harlow Place.
Okay.
Newton Landing. The tree expert.
Kevin, Mr. Civilian.
When I moved in, December 1st, 2001, they were putting all the trees in and they were pyramiding the mulch around the trees. That is the contributor to the root problem there. And since Mr. Brown was on the Township Committee then, the Shade Tree Commission apparently did not refer to any experts about how the trees should be planted and taken care of. Because of the mulch being pyramided, the roots, they don't go down, they go out.
Yeah,
Is that right?
But we never allowed the mulch volcanoes. We put out flyers and warnings. We just recently sent a letter to the crossings that they're doing the same thing.
Yeah, well, this, I'm talking 21 years ago. This problem isn't just now. It started 21 years ago, or 24 years ago.
But remember at first, Jim, we, the township, didn't take control of those streets for a few years.
No, but
Okay, so those streets
don't you
weren't
have
even ours.
the authority to go through and inspect as it's being built?
But I'm just gonna, you have a fair point to make, but it's not the shade tree's responsibility at that phase in time.
Right, well, it falls
township-
back onto the township.
Well, it's primarily the developer. There is an inspection, but it's an engineering inspection, which really has more to do with site plan conformance. So if the inspector is out there, didn't know enough about tree planting, they may not have caught that issue. I don't know the history there, but the process is the developer develops, they are responsible. The township has an inspector out through the engineer's office for site plan conformance, and not until everything's turned over and is public does Shade Tree get involved.
Okay, but that's a good idea for future reference for 401.
Oh,
Whoever-
don't you worry, I will make sure the right trees
Yeah.
are planted.
Because that is
I'm
a
on it.
problem. People
Yeah.
walking Newton's Landing in the street because of the sidewalk. And the bricks, the pavers, they're popping up.
They will,
They will.
but they could be. Okay, I'm not here to argue.
All right, thank you for your comments. All right, so we'll close the hearings. I'm going to take a brief 5-minute recess, because that's what I feel like doing, so. We're going to take a 5-minute recess. Yeah. We'll be back in 5 minutes.
Oh, I get back there when you finish.
They didn't teach me how to pause the stream, so we're still live. Hey, Janice, we're going to remain live on the stream because I don't know how to pause it.
Okay, so can people hear this on the YouTube? Okay. So just, just announce for YouTube, for the YouTube people, we are on a 5-minute recess.
All right. For anyone watching at home on YouTube, we are on a 5-minute recess, and we'll continue. The mics will be hot till then, but we will not be in session.
Crazy thing, I don't know if you remember, I wrote a whole thesis paper on this very problem. I don't know if you remember when I was in my public managers, I had to do a thesis paper, it was like a master's thesis on this very problem. So it will never solve the problem because roots and infrastructure, curb sidewalks, gas lines, sewer lines, don't exist. And we don't have a proper planting width. No, hardly any town in New Jersey. You'll see down on the west coast of the Midwest where they have a very generous 6 to 8 foot planting width, with large pedestrian bike paths and everything. So, the tree can do its thing. The other thing that was learning is that they had, the developer had, in the irrigation systems, put it under the, out to the curb. And, so roots are gonna go where there's water. So if you have irrigation, the roots are coming up. The other interesting thing on Newton's Landing is that when that was first brought in before the planning board in the development stage or the conceptual plan before the land use board, there was never going to be street trees. It was all supposed to be trees on the property owner's side. And it was the Shade Tree Commission. We had members on the planning board at the time as well as other Shade Tree Commission members insisted that they had to be between the curb and the sidewalk. And so, and once you do that, you're going to have problems. I have replaced sidewalk panels 2 times already from shade trees. And I'll replace them again. They're already spalling because roots are just going to keep going. And when I did my paper, I actually went out and photographed everything. I mean, you can do diversions from now to the council. Eventually, those roots are going to, I have pictures of diversions that are lifted up because the roots keep going. I have pictures of diversions where, okay, the sidewalk's diverted, there's no tree because the tree eventually was taken down over the years. You cannot beat this. They don't coexist nicely. All this infrastructure does not coexist with roots. And it's not just like, it's every town. And for example, Morristown, they love their trees and they don't care that you have to walk in the road because they have, and the sidewalks are. I mean, the problem with New York is that people enjoy walking, and as you age, you don't lift your feet up. And so even a quarter-inch ADA is a quarter-inch, torque cutting is 1 inch. But for aging population, a quarter-inch, I'll trip on a little piece of transition stripping between the bathroom and the hallway because, and that's just that, what do they call it? I'll trip on that because I don't get my feet up the way that I used to. So when you have these senior communities, they have them valid, but you can't win this. You just can't because they just give them more. And they all. It just wasn't planned properly. Those trees should have been left on private property. And it should have never ended. And with conditions that they have to maintain tree canopy on the ground. The argument was, no, once you put them in there, we don't have jurisdiction, they'll rip them out, this and that. And you got communities that have that, where it's on the private property, not between the purpose of, they're fine. They're fine, and the tree actually has been able to do its thing. You know, and particularly front lawns, people don't use their front lawns so much for recreation.
Yeah.
And
There's a prize for a handicap spot. What happens? And it's approved? Is there any follow-up on that? Right, okay, well, I'm waiting for tenants to move, but they're gonna move.
So they have, is there a handicap spot
Yeah,
there?
they do, and then like the one paper, right, Morano.
that adds to it, but
Now he does.
irrigation system, which is not the
But
residents'
he
fault.
can't still there.
Yeah, because remember, that goes through them. Now, so what they do, so how it works, they'll come to me and say, hey, chief, we need some opening for handicap spot. So first thing I'll do is check, okay, where you live. And what's your Pigs obviously goes towards cancer.
And at the end of it,
But when I say yes, looking at it, it's plausible they can get a spot, then it goes around. So now,
there's no answer,
it's
there's
on
no.
the books.
And
So they go through, so to take it off, it would just have to be brought to, hey, I would imagine like an addendum, because, I mean, you have to figure that spot there. There's like two others in town as well, where it was from. Right. So I don't think she left.
No,
They
she
had a
doesn't
spot.
drive. She doesn't drive anymore, but he's using it a lot. He's got her ticket, her handicap with his car. It's been that way because
So I didn't know she, first of all, I didn't know she left. I thought she
that she
was,
was home for like a couple of years. Now she's back. Now she's back.
she doesn't drive. That could be something where, again, like I said, I mean, they can do addendums when they want. They do it all the time. So it could be something where, okay, yeah, where there's a handicap parking spot, take it out.
But there's nothing with the books that says you gotta come in once a year.
No, because now, because it's approved and it's on the books as it's like a street sign. So, but if it was something where, hey, the resident is no
I'll
longer.
wait till this guy moves.
Yeah, because then, and it's your tenant, right?
No, this is next to my tenant. The first, it was the old Brennan's house.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, if they're going, I would just come and say, listen.
I like this, but they use that as a parking spot.
Yeah, but that's the big shit. So, yeah,
But it's never there. His car parks there with that tag.
yeah, so what they're doing is, so here's the argument. We still have to take her to wherever she needs to go, and she's still in state to where she requires it. That's why she's still able to have a plaque.
She also has a plate.
Right. Now, she doesn't drive anymore, but she still needs.
Oh, she drives.
Oh, she does still drive? Oh, she has a license still?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so that's why. But if.
They play, I have a parking spot, so that's the thing.
Yeah, but if somebody was to, like I said, got them rings, now that, unfortunately he passed on, it could be plausible to say, hey, you know what, it's no longer needed. Let's make that another spot again. And again, I just make an addendum and then have it taken out and then have a pump risk going.
Charging them, not as we get rid of it. But the township put in a stipulation that once a year, you have to come back to prove that you still need it.
No, because you would do that. So what happens is when it's a temporary thing, they come to me and they get a temporary placard for 6 months. And if they to have that, they have to have it. I'm telling you, I'm following. So anything past that, where they believe, like, again, in randoms, for a while, that's what they were doing. They would just go and just keep getting a renewal every 6 months. But then obviously he rapidly declined. Like, you know what? We'd like to just get a spot where he can just park right there. So that's what we were did it. But they had doctor's notes that supported it. The same way you need a doctor's note.
The 50-foot cartway. But there's no additional amount of foot, it's within the 50-foot cartway, that's ours. This is old, this is old. It's just, the purpose. Okay. If it's not, if the tree is not within the 50-foot cartway, right away.
25 from the center.
That is not okay. Because it's clearly way beyond the tree.
This one is.
I wonder if they know. We're still live. You're live.
Yep.
I don't think they know.
You know we're live, right? Or we're still recording.
We're streaming.
So we can talk about our own.
Gotcha.
Oh, we still have another public comment. All right.
Yeah.
Ready to go back?
Janice.
We're ready when you are, Jan.
Yeah, it's a long time ago.
We're back recording, we're back in session.
We're still live.
We're still recording. Okay, so thanks for your patience while we took our little brief recess. I'm going to suggest that we actually table both of these decisions until the next meeting. I'd like to do some more investigating, speak to a few more people before we make our decisions. So these will be decided on at the next meeting, which is October 8th, maybe? 6th.
Okay.
Yeah.
If I
So
come-
we're going to table our decisions until
I
October
come the 8th, I'll be late.
6th.
Motion in a second.
Doug says
So
we need
can
a
I get a motion to table our decisions until October 6th?
So moved.
Second.
6th.
6th, 10-6.
Matt? And then who?
Anything?
Second.
Phil
Phil?
seconded?
Okay, Matt and Phil, roll call, please. Or all in favor?
Yeah, all in favor is fine.
All
Aye.
in favor?
Aye.
Madam Mayor, if I may, will there be more testimony on that 18th?
I don't think so.
No.
I think it's just we need to process and let it, yeah.
It's going to be more hearings.
Yes, for sure.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Thank you as well, Miriam. Yeah, if you'd like to come back on the 6th, or we can reach out to you, whatever you want to do, whatever's best for you.
If more testimony is required, I'll be happy to.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll reach out if I have
Thanks,
any other
Kevin.
questions. Thank you very much. Have a good night. Okay, moving on to correspondence. Any correspondence?
I
Jen?
have none.
Okay, great. This is meeting open to the public, session 2. If you have any general comments or questions, you can come to the podium and state your name and address, talk about whatever you want.
Nothing, Ray?
Nope. Thank you. Closing. Any discussion items? None? Anybody have
think so.
anything else they want to talk about?
How about the
Motion
Eagles?
to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. We'll see you on October 6th.
Yeah, you hit those lights quick.
Damn right. She got a long ride home back.